All right, folks, we're back at it. This is part 3 of Can It Be Saved, this free VW bug engine. And where we left off was, last time when we finished, we were trying to work towards doing a compression check. And this number 3 cylinder was missing a valve adjustment screw. So we're going to put that in today. And then we're going to go ahead and adjust all the valves up to start, at least so we know where everything is set where it's supposed to be before we do a compression check. Do that a little bit, elevation there to keep what little oil still in here. While we mess around with putting that adjuster back in. And go ahead and hopefully these valves will be close and I don't have to fool around with them too long, but we'll go ahead and adjust everything up. And I'll show you the process for anybody who has never seen it before. I'll just do a couple of valves on the, we're going to start with the number 1, number 2 and work our way around, but I'll show you the number 1 and number 2 side just so you can see the process. I'll tighten this one down later. So if you've never seen it before, but otherwise it's kind of boring, so I won't hold you to that. I'll put this valve cover back on here, so when we take our diaper out, it's not going to leak all over everything. Somebody grunt for me. I lost my screwdriver. There we go. Okay. All right, there's that. Let's see. Move the diaper. Let's go to the other side. All right, we got that there. Now let's move you around here. Trying to get you too seasick. And we'll go ahead and start this process on this one over here. Sorry about the thumb in the way. I'm not a pro. Not looking for any Pulitzer prizes or whatever it is media folks get. Just want to have some fun and maybe entertain a couple folks while we're at it. So you can get in there. Is that good enough? I don't have very good lighting. I'm sorry. All right. So what we want to do, we always want to start with the number 1. Yeah, let's see. Oil all over? Nope, we're good. And what you have to do is you have to rotate the motor so that you loosen up these valves here. You always have it on number 1 first, and then these valves will be loose, so you can move them around, make adjustments to them, and then you work your way around. So, I got this wooden stick I'll put down in here so we can see where number 1 piston is going up and down like it's supposed to. And I will rotate this motor, going backwards with it on purpose, because when you go backwards it makes it easy to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a series, so that you're not having to hunt around and find these loose on one side here, then on the other side, and zigzagging back and forth. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the order. We'll have to figure that out in just a minute. It's been a minute since I've done one of these valve adjustments. I know I should do it more often. My car's running good, so I don't fool with it too much. Let's see. All right, going down. Valve's coming up. Piston's coming up. Right. Not there. That's not it. Okay, gotta keep going one more round. That was 180 out. Because when they're both at top dead center, right about there. Let's see, a little more. Right in there. These should be loose. And they are a little bit. So I'm just going to go rock this back and forth a hair. See if this is really top dead center. A little bit down. Watch the stick a little bit. All right. Right before it travels back down, we're good. So we'll go with that as being right on it. And then we'll go ahead and start with that setting right there. And I'll do my best to not have my fat fingers in the way. So let's just check before we do anything. So this is, I like these long flexible feeler gauges. I got a set of short ones where a lot of guys get into these, but these make it real simple because they're real flexible. Remember, this is 6,000. I don't know if you can see that in there. Not, but that's the one you're going to want to use. Check it down in there. Well, it actually feels pretty good. I don't know if you can hear that. Slight drag. This one is pretty loose. So let's tighten that one up. Go ahead and, let's see. Yeah, that's been a while since it's been loose. Go down there. Just a hair. Let's see if I think I went the wrong way. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Go back in here one more time. You gotta keep doing this. Sometimes it's a little bit tedious, but you go in a little bit on the screw, tighten it down. Don't put the fist to it too hard. It's not meant to be a bazillion pounds of torque on there. It's better. A little bit more. You don't want to tear these up. You can break these pretty easy. A bit of a snug to it. Yeah, that's better. Listen. I don't know if you can hear that. But you want just a little bit of drag on it, where you got to pinch it just a little bit to pull it out, but not a lot of firmness on it. That one's pretty good too. And then we're going to rotate the motor over counterclockwise so that we can get number 2 in place. And you watch the stick and you can see where we're at. All right, we're 180 out right here. 180 out and go back around. And we should just feel it's gonna go back, okay? Bring it up just a hair. That's about right there. So these are loose, okay? So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Well, let's check it, right? Why waste energy? We're not trying to get this thing to be a sports car just yet. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. That was good too. But anyway, so you see the idea. I'm gonna leave those alone, and I'll do 3 and 4 in just a second. I'll do that off camera. There's no sense in showing you all that. That's the process. And if anybody wants to see a video of that, there's tons of them on YouTube. But I'd be glad to make another one, and I can do the whole thing if anybody wants a short video on that. I'll bring you back after I check the other side, and then we'll get ready to slap some parts on it to do a compression check. All right, so I got the valves all adjusted, but while I was doing that, I found something that's a little disturbing that could be the issue with why this motor was left to rot somewhere. But if you look here, right, there's where the spark plug removes, pretty clean. This one's charred pretty bad. There's been some blow-by going on in there for some reason or another, and either loose spark plug or maybe a stripped hole. I haven't really looked in there that well. Some crust in there, and I'm going to clean that. Let's take a little bit of look in there. Let's see if I can get you zoomed in a little bit on that, and hopefully my fingers won't be in the way too much here, but it will be for the initial cleaning. Let's take a look if I can get this crust out of here and see if I can get anything down in there with this brush. Let's see. Ew. Just want to make sure that there's no issues with that threads or maybe a crack or something. Yeah, watch your eyes. Should have warned you. Let's see some crust right there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I feel like I'm a dentist here. Alright, get rid of that. A little bit more crust right there. I'm looking at a pit. Cavity. For a dentist, that's a cavity right there. Clean some more of that. Tastes good. I don't know. Let's see if you see what I see. down in there? Do you see? Does that look like a crack? Right in there. It's grainy right now too. But let's put you back in. Just get you closer with the camera instead of that zoom feature, which sucks. This is what you get when you're a poor YouTuber. You use your cell phone. You gotta deal with it. Until I get a bazillion subscribers and likes. So go ahead and hit the subscribe and like while we're jerking around with this thing right here. But I want you to see that with me and see what you think. I don't know. All right, you see that? After we stop shaking, sorry about that. Right in there. Does it look like in this area right here is cracked maybe? Put some light on it. Oh. There's definitely a pit right there that I don't see on the other side. Kind of looks like it could be a crack. I need to clean that up some more. Hang on. All right, I'm just going to hit it with some brake cleaner, carb cleaner rather. See if that'll clean enough to show us any imperfections in those threads. What do you see right here? What do you think? Another crack right there? Right there. Well, I am almost 100% certain there's at least 2 cracks in that right there, and the only way to really know is when I get this head off. But you know what? I can replace the head if the block is good. Yeah, I'm making a bad time for everybody right now. If that block is any good, you know, we can always replace the heads. The heads are everywhere. But that might be the reason why this motor was taken out of a car and stored. The guy I got it from really couldn't remember everything about it, but that's definitely going to be an issue, I believe. But we'll go ahead and do the compression check anyway, see what we got, and just for fun. So one thing I want to show you, again, we're going to get a little seasick here. So I bought this rig right here on eBay. I can't remember what it cost. I think it was like 150 bucks, something like that. So this is for a starter to go on to the back of a motor without having to chop out a piece of an old transmission. A lot of folks do that, and I've done that before, and it's just extra stuff. But this is pretty lightweight. Everything's already assembled when you get it, and it comes with bushing for a 6 volt and a 12 volt. I don't know what happened to my 6 volt one. Everything I've done is 12 volt. But anyway, this works really well. It goes right on the back of the motor, and I'll show you. We'll put that on real quick, and then we can turn the motor over just and check compression that way. All right, got everything hooked up. I think I said extension cord before, but jumper cables, right? And I've got starter switch, and I'll hook to, let's see. Okay, so like I said earlier, sometimes I have to adjust these. It's not engaging, so let's hit that real quick. Let's see. We're about 17 millimeter go. Let's just loosen these just a hair. Wrong way, fool. Just a little bit of looseness there. Just a hair there. That kind of gets looser. Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay. Just not engaging on the flywheel, so let me fool with this just a minute, and we'll get you right back. Well, I was having a hard time getting this thing to line up with the sprocket on the flywheel, is what I thought anyway, so I'm wondering, and then I realized, y'all are probably yelling at me, I wrote bad on this starter, and well, it says good on the solenoid and bad on the starter. So kicking out the solenoid, but it wasn't turning the starter. At least I wasn't sure if it was. Let's just check this to be on the safe side. So we'll got fancy Harbor Freight. I think it was $5 or something like that. But Heck, works pretty good. Let's see. Can't always remember where these are supposed to go half the time. I'm always afraid to blow something up. So we got battery. Let's see. Positive gonna go on that one right there. Try not to make contact with the other lug on the other side. And ground that up. Good, no sparkies. That always scares the crap out of me right there. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see if we see that. Okay. Well, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's just a matter of getting it lined up better. I'll work on that. Well, I wanted to show you guys something I discovered while I was fooling around turning the motor over, doing the valve adjustment, and didn't really notice it at first, but watch here. Look at that. That is water. Not a good sign. There's some oil in there. Oh, look, we struck oil. Well, maybe I'm pushing out what was in the bottom of the motor. Well, I know that's what it is. I mean, the sump down there is going to suck up whatever's the lowest thing, which is going to be water, right? I don't have an engine test stand. I sold it with an engine that I rebuilt for a guy, and he wanted the motor in the stand. And I never bothered replacing the stand yet, which a couple months ago, and I need to get another one to really drain this. But, well, the water, at least it's clearing up right now. It's more oil than water. But it just tells me that what I thought was a dry motor under a dry shed somewhere wasn't exactly dry. Didn't look really all that rusty, but I'm sure there's some rust in there. Of course, there's some everywhere else on this motor, but, well, we'll just have to take it as we see it and figure the rest out. I still want to get onto the compression check stuff, so I'm going to work with that starter on here a little bit more and try to get that going. All right, we're back. Had to do a couple things between the last couple videos and this one, so I was busy on weekends. It's when I get to do most of my tinkering. So just as a recap, this motor here, we're not really sure, what's salvageable on it. A buddy gave it to me, and in a couple of the other previous videos, we kind of did some triage to it, a little bit of post-mortem. We know it's not a great motor. It was sitting under a guy's shed. It had some water in it. We found some water coming out of it. I did drain all the oil out of it because I've got the oil cooler off it, and it'll bubble out of there. So we got all the oil out. There was some water in it, a bunch of sludge, and I don't have a whole lot of hopes for this motor. One of the reasons why is on the other video we discovered that this cylinder has pretty much shit the bed. So it's got cracks in here inside the spark plug hole. So this this head rather, has cracks in it, so it's no good. So we don't really know what the rest of this motor's like, what we're going to do with it yet, but we just want to kind of play with it and see what kind of compression it has. Block might be good. Parts from these heads are good. That head might be good over there for a spare for somebody. We already know that it's been sitting for a long time and probably not going to have much, if any, compression. I'm betting that the cylinders were really rusty and I had a heck of a time getting this thing to pull through and turn over. We got it moving, but I'm betting that the rings are pretty well rusted into the pistons. So we're just going to play with it, do a compression check. I've already went ahead and done all the adjustments of all the valve train back to what it should be, and now we're going to go ahead and I got the starter rig on the back. We're going to go ahead and try working on seeing what kind of compression we have. Had to run my wife's car to it. The battery I had just wasn't strong enough, and it's not taking a charge, so that's another issue for another day. It says bad on here. It's intermittent. I wouldn't put this in a car, but I use it for this rig, and I was talking about this rig in another video. This is a pretty cool rig. You can get it from eBay. It mounts to the back of the motor so that you don't have to worry about taking apart a transmission and cutting a big hunk out. This seems to work pretty good. I've used it on several motors, and we'll go ahead and get things back together, get the compression gauge on it, and give it a try. All right, got good old Harbor Freight gauge in here. Works okay. I've used it for a while. It's about the second or third one I've had from them. I think it was like 15 bucks, something like that. And I got my cheap trigger starter here, engine turner oner. We'll see if we get anything here. This is cylinder number 1. Let's see if we got anything. I know the motor's turning over kind of slow. That's not great. Let's see, mark that down, 32. And I've got it attached to my wife's car, so you hear that in the background. It should be turning this motor over fine. I think we just got a kind of a stiff motor and a soft starter. That's probably not helping anything here. So we'll get hooked up to number 2 and try that again in just a second. All right, we're hooked on number 2. Not sure if we got enough nut turning this motor here. Not again, stiff engine, weak starter. Not a good combination, but we're just playing anyway. We're not having a lot of hope for this motor. Spraying crap out of the exhaust. That's not enough to give us any compression right there. That is not sounding too good. Come on, baby. You know what I think? I think we'll get back to this when I find another starter. All right? We'll get back to you in just a little bit. Hey, everybody. Well, a little bit of time's passed, and I kind of did some more thinking about this motor, and one of the things that I was going to do is get another one of these starters right here and you know, try to turn this motor over and check compression. That's where we left off. A little bit of time's passed, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Just didn't get around to doing this one. Had a lot of stuff going on with holidays, and everybody around us seemed to be sick with some kind of cooties or COVID or whatever, so I just didn't get out, didn't feel good. But I think everything we've learned about this motor, you know, it's really crusty, and the corrosion on it is just, you know, these heads are definitely bad. You know, this one crack for sure in this cylinder in the spark plug hole here, and just the fact that we found a ton of water bubbling out of this, and I went ahead and drained this thing. I don't remember if we talked about that or not, but it was full of water. So I'm just going to call it quits on this motor. Don't want to waste a lot of folks' time here, but it was cool to play with it, check it out, go through it a little bit, do a little bit of an autopsy on it. I might take it apart and maybe do another video digging down in that crankcase there to see kind of what bad looks like. I have a feeling that there's not much left to save in this case here. I don't know. It may be okay. I haven't really checked the end play on it at all. But my guess is it's probably a boat anchor. Somebody could probably use that block, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I got other projects. I might save some of these valve train parts in here. There's some good nuts and some good rockers and possibly some of that hardware, you know, over here. Pull a couple things out of there, because I always seem to need a nut or two for that. Maybe some of the engine hardware off of here. Just let it go in peace, you know what I mean? Give it a little burial somewhere, and who knows, or make something out of it. I don't know, coffee table or something, or just give it away. Somebody gave it to me, so I have nothing invested in it, just playing with it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, playing with it, and learning a little bit more about Volkswagens as we touch them and dig into them. They're cool, you know, even when they don't run, they're a blast to play with. But look at all this corrosion in here. These heads are definitely no good. I wouldn't be using these again anyway. But I will show you this though. Check this out. This will be another video. This is just cool old motor. I mean, it's not much to it, right? But a dude down the street, did some work for him. Got a saw working for him, and in exchange, he threw this in my truck. It's old, right? Not sure. Probably early 80s, something like that. 7 horsepower, a little horizontal shaft motor. Doesn't look like it's all that bad. Came from pawn shop. Looks like in 91, right? See the date there? So he's had it in his shop forever. I've never even really tried to fool with this motor. I have no idea if it's going to run or not. But I think what we'll do with that is we'll do a old start, will it run? So stay tuned for that. I'll start putting that one together. That won't be a long video. I don't think it'll take 3 parts like this other beat up old VW motor did. But look forward to that. Hope I see you again.